Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to take source material, yours, hopefully, and really dig into those hidden bits of insight. Today, we are jumping into a real classic, Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Now, you might think you know the story.
Oh, everyone thinks they know it, right?
It's romance. Exactly. But we want to look beyond just the romance, focus on, well, the journey of personal change. How people transform, or sometimes how they don't. Okay, so let's unpack this thing. It's really not just about Elizabeth and Darcy falling in love.
No, not at all. It's fundamentally about how those first impressions, the Pride and the Prejudice of the title, how they completely shape and sometimes distort how we see people and ourselves, actually.
That's what gets me, the struggle to actually see past those initial judgments. It feels very human.
Absolutely. What's fascinating, I think, is tracing that path. From being so sure, so stubborn about your first take on someone,
right,
to achieving a genuine understanding. So our mission today, let's pinpoint those key moments, those shifts in perspective.
Yeah, the moments where the characters really change. And figure out why this story about seeing clearly, about growth, and true love, why it still hits home.
So let's set the scene. We're in Longbourn, English countryside. The Bennet family.
Right, Mr. Bennet, Mrs. Bennet, and the 5 daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And Mrs. Bennet has, well, let's call it a singular focus.
She needs to get them married, all of them, preferably well, because the estate, it can only be inherited by a male heir, which they don't have.
Talk about pressure. It really sets the stage, doesn't it? Everything kind of spins out from that need.
Definitely. And then, boom, excitement hits the neighborhood. Mr. Bingley arrives, rich, single.
Rents Netherfield Park. Big deal for the Bennets.
Huge deal. And he's immediately charming, connects right away with Jane, the eldest Bennet. It seems almost easy.
Almost too easy, maybe. It sets up such a contrast.
Exactly, because Bingley brings his friend, Mr. Darcy, also rich, arguably richer, but proud, reserved.
Aloof, even. What was it about him, specifically, that first encounter, that comment?
Ah, yes. The famous line about Elizabeth. She is tolerable, but not handsome enough to tempt me.
Ouch. That's more than just rude, isn't it?
It's incredibly dismissive. And for someone like Elizabeth, who prides herself on her own intelligence and quick wit, it's like a direct challenge.
So that's the spark, her instant dislike. It's strong.
Very strong. And then you get Mr. Wickham, the charming soldier. He comes in and just fans those flames.
He tells her this whole sob story about Darcy wronging him.
Masterfully done. He plays right into her existing prejudice against Darcy, paints Darcy as the villain. It's textbook manipulation, really. Reinforces her bias completely.
Okay, so she clearly despises Darcy at this point.
Right.
Which makes his proposal
completely out of the blue. And the way he does it basically says, I'm proposing even though your family and social standing are, frankly, beneath me.
Wow. Yeah, not exactly smooth.
Not at all. And Elizabeth, fueled by her pride, her prejudice, everything Wickham told her, she just lets him have it. Furious rejection.
She accuses him of ruining Jane's happiness with Bingley, of ruining Wickham.
It's all coming out. Yeah. Her conviction that she's got it all figured out, her pride in her own judgment is really blinding her here.
But Darcy doesn't just, slink away defeated.
No, he's wounded, clearly. But he writes her that letter, and it's incredibly honest. Detailed.
He explains the Bingley and Jane thing.
Yeah.
Saying he genuinely thought Jane wasn't that into Bingley.
Right. A misjudgment, perhaps, but not malicious in his telling.
Right.
And then the big one. He exposes Wickham, lays out the whole story. How Wickham is a liar, a gambler, how he tried to elope with Darcy's own sister for her inheritance.
That letter.
Yeah.
That must have been a shock.
It's the turning point for Elizabeth, a huge aha moment. But it's not just, oh, Wickham's bad, Darcy's good. It's deeper.
How so?
She realizes her own pride, her own prejudice completely blinded her. Just as much as Darcy's pride blinded him initially, she wasn't seeing clearly at all.
So it's self-awareness kicking in.
Exactly. And then later when she visits Pemberley, his estate, expecting, well, who knows what.
She sees a different Darcy. Gracious, respected by his staff, humble even. It confirms that shift happening inside her.
Yeah, the evidence starts mounting that her first impression was just wrong. But just as they're both sort of figuring things out internally.
Disaster, Lydia. The youngest Bennet
runs off with Wickham. The guy Elizabeth now knows is absolutely terrible news. It threatens scandal, ruin for the whole family.
It's a crisis. And this is where Darcy steps up, isn't it? But quietly.
Very quietly. Behind the scenes. He finds them, pays off Wickham's massive debts, basically forces him to marry Lydia to save the family's reputation, Elizabeth's family's reputation.
Then he doesn't want any credit for it.
None at all. He tries to keep it secret. It's the ultimate proof of his change. His love isn't about pride or proposals anymore. It's selfless action, protecting her, even when she doesn't know it.
Okay, so that paves the way for the ending we all kind of expect, but now it feels earned.
Right. Bingley comes back, proposes to Jane properly this time. She accepts, of course.
And Darcy tries again with Elizabeth, but this time...
It's completely different. Humble, respectful. This genuine love. He's changed.
And she's changed too. She sees him for who he is now and accepts.
Yes, finally.
So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway from this deep dive? For me, it shows that the love story in Pride and Prejudice, it's not just, romantic destiny.
No, it's built on serious personal growth, on realizing your own flaws, your own pride, your own prejudice.
And having the courage to actually change because of it. It's about respect that's earned, understanding that's fought for, truly seeing the other person.
Yeah, if you connect it to the bigger picture, their marriage isn't just a happy ending. It symbolizes resolving that internal conflict, the pride, the prejudice. It's about starting to truly understand yourself and other people. Which kind of leaves you, the listener, with a question, doesn't it? Think about it. How often do our own first judgments, maybe driven by a bit of pride or some preconceived idea, how often do they stop us from seeing what's really there? The full truth about a person or maybe a situation? It might be surprising.
And maybe, what does it take for us to be willing to revisit those first impressions? Something to think about. Definitely something to ponder as you navigate your own encounters. Until next time on The Deep Dive.